Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Any Last Words. I'm your host, Joe. Hey Daniel, hey Iris, thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a really banana story. Like, it's still the month of March, so it's, St. Patrick's Day is the theme, so I thought I would go with a really messed up story related to Irish whiskey. And it's going to be about the Jameson brand whiskey and heir to that brand of whiskey. Yeah, so if you guys, just a disclaimer, if you guys are not into listening to things that are very graphic or gory, I mean, this is horror, so I don't see why you wouldn't. But if that's just not something you want to listen to that's happening to someone in real life, I'll gladly see you on the next episode. No hard feelings. For those of you who are joining, if you wouldn't mind, please push like and share so that other people can find the show too. Okay, so tonight's episode is called The Jameson Affair. James Jameson was the heir to the whiskey empire Jameson Whiskey. Let's see, I had you at whiskey. Hey Richard, thanks for joining. Yes, so James Jameson was the heir to Jameson Whiskey. I believe John Jameson, who started the brand, was either his grandfather or his father. I couldn't get anything straight on that. But in 1888, James Jameson was a member of one of the last European expeditions in Africa. And during his expedition, he took part in a rescue mission for the colonel governor of the province of Sudan, because they felt he was in danger, so they had to go get him. The group stayed in a village that was in the Republic of Congo, and this village was very close to a river where a lot of ships came in for slave trade and ivory trading, which are both bad. But that was 1800s, so. So James Jameson had like an entourage with him. He had a guide, he had an interpreter, he had an assistant, he had all kinds of people that were with him in this expedition. And he had heard that the village that they were in, or next to, I should say, was a tribe of cannibals. And it really sparked his interest. And I mean, not much is known about his life prior to this. So this could have been something that he'd been doing for a while and was there and was like, oh my God, you guys mean you do this on the regular over here? Like, I want to see. Or if it just was something that sparked his interest when he was there. Let's see, Richard says, yeah, it might have been the guy that fought the octopuses in the commercial, maybe. But it sparked his interest. He wanted to see someone actually be cannibalized. So with the help of his interpreter told the guide, who then told the chief of this cannibalistic village, that James was very interested in seeing this happen. So there were some conditions, in order to see something like that. And James Jameson had a 10-year-old enslaved girl purchased for 6 fucking handkerchiefs. That's fucked up. It's fucked up just to do, like slave trade and human trafficking. That's all wrong. But for 6 handkerchiefs, what the fuck are you gonna do with them handkerchiefs? Anyway, so then they went to the village and presented this 10-year-old girl to the chief. And the interpreter, what was it that he said? I have it written down in my notes. I'm trying not to rely on my notes. So when they brought the girl to the chief, the interpreter told the chief, this is a present from a white man who desires to see her eaten. So right then and there, they take this poor girl away. They tie her to a tree and they begin stabbing her in the chest. Now, I guess they stabbed her in the chest twice. They said his entourage, as well as himself, in a journal entry that was later found way later in the future, that this girl didn't make a sound. Like, she knew what was going to happen to her, and she just kind of accepted it. She didn't scream. She didn't fight them. She didn't do any of that. But they had all said that she was looking around in panic, like, please don't do this. Please let someone help me. Like, don't. I know this is going to happen, but please, someone change your mind. Like, someone take the handkerchiefs back. Do something. After being tied to the tree, she was stabbed in the chest twice. Then she was decapitated and dismembered by this tribe. Because, like I said earlier, there was like a lake or a river that was like right alongside of the village. They had taken her body parts and they washed them before they consumed them. It doesn't get better after this. It really just doesn't. Richard, this is going to make me not want Jameson anymore, isn't it? You know, it just seems to have been an isolated incident in this family. So, I mean, he didn't start the brand. He was just the heir to it. He was either the son or the grandson to the, what would you call it, proprietor of the, of Jameson whiskey. So it's just a little bump in their family history. So they took her and washed her. They began eating her. This is where things get sketchy. Pun intended. It's kind of fucked up. I'm sorry, not sorry. But according to 3 people in his entourage, which was his interpreter, I forget the title of the other guy, and the guide, they said that James, while he was watching, started sketching scenes of what was happening to this poor little girl. He had 6 photos in total, and he just sketched them there. After he was done sketching them, he then went back to his tent and began coloring them in with watercolors. Then took the pictures back to the chief of that village and asked for approval on it. Like, this is some, like, serial killer shit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this has happened before in his life. But like I said, there's really, and that's what makes it kind of sketchy too, is there is no real record of his life growing up or what it was for him growing up. So I'm wondering if they just kind of kept that shit quiet to not taint the whiskey brand. Although this guy is doing a great job on his own as an adult. And this was all put on like an affidavit. So it's like legit, like sworn in, like you cannot be lying about this shit. And this all ended up being written in an article. They did an interview with the New York Times in 1888. So the New York Times got a hold of this story, interviewed these guys, did the articles, put it out. Now everybody knows that James Jameson is a psychotic freak that bought a girl to be cannibalized by this village, and that he drew about it. Like, that's yeah, so that kind of hurt the Jameson brand a little bit of the whiskey, because everybody found out what was going on. So they ate her, you say? Dang, yeah, no, they ate her. This dude would love Cannibal Holocaust. Yes, and this is why I wanted to do this one, because this felt like such a horror movie. Like, this would be a horror movie. But I digress. So the Jameson brand is tainted at this point. A few months later, after this had happened, in August of 1888, James Jameson died. So he got a little bit of karma. He actually, a lot of people from the expedition, his group in the expedition, a lot of them ended up getting sick with a fever, malnutrition. They weren't treated very well because they were foreigners in this country. And a lot of them died. So he ended up getting some kind of illness that caused him to have a seizure, and he died. He got very ill and he died. But before he died, he obviously knew that this got out. So he wrote his wife a letter. And let's see, did I write down what it said? Oh, yeah. So he sent a letter of the event to his wife shortly before his passing, who then she forwarded it to the New York Times to see if they would like kind of help put a band-aid on this situation. But what he wrote later didn't help. Anyway, in his accounts of what had happened, it's also written in his journal. Or no, I'm sorry. This was in the letter. I know I had it written down. What did I do with it? Oh, okay. Because there's some parts I didn't want to forget. Okay. He wrote that it all began as a joke. Never thought that they really do it. And they also might have been playing a joke on him for money. So he was like, basically, he's like, oh, yeah, like I bought this girl for 6 handkerchiefs and she was a 10-year-old slave. And I took her to this village. And as a joke, I said, I want to see you eat her. And then they just ate her right in front of me. Like, I was just joking. Like, I didn't mean to. Fuck off, dude. And then, like I said, then he was like, then he kind of like double talked a little bit and was like, well, I kind of thought that they were playing a joke on me because they wanted money from me. He's like, that don't make a lick of sense. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. And then he also said that that he did do sketches, but he didn't do them there while she was being dismembered and eaten and stuff. He had remembered what had happened, and when he got to his tent, that's when he did the sketches. But he did the sketches, so that wasn't a lie either. But yeah, he ended up dying from an illness a very, very short time later. So he never even made it back to the country. Yeah, so I mean, and basically that's the gist of it. Like, that's it. So he wrote in this letter that yeah, these things happen, but that's not what I meant to happen. Like, it's just a big misunderstanding. So he does not deny that this happened. He also faced no charges, no trouble, nothing. I mean, granted he did die a short time later, but the world already kind of knew about it. So that is fucking cuckoo cocoa nuts bananas. But it did. It totally reminded me of like Cannibal Holocaust and what is the other one to it? I forget the damn name of it. And that one was crazy too. And I didn't even watch all of it because I had to stop. A Green Inferno. Yeah, it's like it totally made me think of Green Inferno. But yeah, so it popped. Yeah, I had to do it for this month because it's still the month of St. Patrick's Day. I thought you guys would enjoy a little quick horror story that really happened about Jameson whiskey. So I don't know. It really makes me think, because I watch a lot of true crime. It really makes me think that this was not an isolated incident. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. I think maybe that's why there wasn't much about him in his past life, or, you know, before that point in his life. Like, I think he might have done stuff and his family might have covered it up. I don't know. I would actually like to deep dive a little bit more into James Jameson, try to find something out there, because there's got to be more to this story. Like, this guy has to have really been doing some stuff in real life. But nonetheless, it's horrific. It's disgusting in many, many different ways. And there you have it. That's your story for the evening. That is the story of Jameson whiskey and cannibalism and trafficking. So, yeah. Chuck Daniels, hey, what's going on, buddy? Let's see. Cannibals and whiskey sounds like a fun time. Oh, yeah. I was on another show before, and it was more heavily into true crime. And we did an episode where we made tacos live, and we talked about cannibalism. And that really ruined tacos that night for me. I cannot talk about cannibalism and eat. It just does not sit right with me at all. So, yeah, we could talk about it, but let's see. Daniel says, wow, that was epic. That was a crazy story. Like, I kind of thought that maybe it was one of those stories that were like super embellished and that there were no facts to back it up kind of deal. But then when I actually started reading it, I was like, no, like, this motherfucker did that shit. He really bought a little girl, handed her off to a cannibalistic tribe, and said, I want to see you eat her. But then later goes, I just kidding. I didn't mean it. You guys, it wasn't serious. Shit. Have some whiskey. Take a drink. Chill out. Oh my God. So messed up. Somebody had posted on Reddit, because I was like looking all around for different stuff. Somebody on Reddit had posted 6 sketches. They said that, oh, these are his sketches. And then I noticed that there were no watercolors on it. And then other people started commenting. They're like, this isn't really it. So I wonder where those sketches are. I wonder if they got, like discarded, or if somebody actually kept them and maybe they're in someone's great grandpappy's storage somewhere and nobody knows about it. So I'm wondering what's up with those photos. I kind of do and kind of don't want to see them. I mean, they're not photos like we do now. It's not a video. They're just sketches. So I'm very curious to see what he drew. I really do. This guy was fucking sick. He was fucking sick. Okay, guys. Other than that, you guys please make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I now have a TikTok as well. I'm more into watching the videos than doing anything else with TikTok. It's so good and bad hypnotic. But yeah, I'm all over there. I also have a Patreon. If you guys would like to do like a one-time support kind of deal, I do have my PayPal in this little bottom screen here right there. If you guys just want to do a one-time support thing, you will get a shout out. Let's see. Probably thought her a test to see if they'd actually eat her, and they did, and he got scared. That's kind of what he's saying, but there were 3 people in his entourage that said the same thing, and they're like, no, we bought her for that purpose, and he stood there and drew it. So, I mean, I don't know. They didn't really get it. They're not like, they said it, but it wasn't like they got anything out of it. So I kind of don't see the point of lying, but then again, people conspire with one another to damage another person's reputation sometimes. So I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I personally think that this guy did this on purpose and just tried to cover his ass. Yeah, I really do. I think this guy was sick in the head. There was a lot of weird shit that happened before we got internets and social medias, where everything's so exposed and we can see what everybody does in their lives. I don't know. Yeah, similar to a lab rat, if that makes sense. No, I got you. No, I totally get you. I get you. But yeah, I don't know. Just me personally, I think he did it on purpose. I think he was totally like, yeah, I want them to eat her, and I want to see this shit. I'm not having tacos tonight, so I don't have to trip out. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, I'm going to have some really exciting, really cool news coming out soon. I can't share it just yet. So I think it might be next week, maybe middle of next week, that I'll get to share all that with you guys. Super excited. And let me see, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, since I did my little half-ass Russian accent I've been doing for the past couple of years, I'm going to have a new segment coming up. I might try it next Friday. I don't know. We'll see. If I can't come up with something for Creepy Kitchen, I'll probably just do another short story or the segment that I really want to try. We'll see how it works. It's something some of you guys have been asking for a little while, and I finally got the stuff together for it. So maybe next Friday I will be doing this new segment. All right, I'm gonna tell you now. Oh, I don't have it in here. Damn it. I'm gonna be doing Madam Jojo. So we'll do Madam Jojo next week. But yeah. Let's see, Daniel. Yeah, most definitely think he did it. Yeah, this guy's just fucking. He had some screws loose. He got whiskey fumes from them barrels and made him go a little cuckoo. I don't know. But yeah, so next week I'll have some new news for you guys. We'll do a new segment next week for fun. It'll be interactive, so you guys make sure that you tune in for that. And yeah, that's about it. So let me get my little background going so that I can thank my supporters. Oh, I didn't do a new one. Okay, I'll just do a shout out now. Thank you, Richard Nettleton, for being my Patreon supporter. Thank you, Aaron with Sir Sturdy for being a Patreon supporter. Thank you, Mark D. Valenti, for being one of my Patreon supporters. And thank you, Gonzalo Chavez, for being a Patreon supporter. You guys have been my Patreon supporters forever. I appreciate everything you guys do. Everything that goes into Patreon goes back into the show. That's why I finally have the pieces together to do this segment for you guys and have some fun and be a little more interactive. Yeah, so that's it. And if you guys have any, that's it. And then I go into more. One last thing. If you guys have a show suggestion that you'd like to submit, make sure you email me at anylastwordsjoe@gmail.com, and you might see it in an upcoming episode. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so very much. And I will see you next week. And I hope you have nightmares about me. Mwah.